Welcome to HumanityWins.net. Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. Please contact your doctor or lawyer if you require such advice. Thank you. The show starts right now. Hello, welcome to this new episode of HumanityWins.net. And as you can see, we're back with the chat, and I have my very good friend Tony from London again. Hello, Tony. Thank you for being here. It's, as always, a pleasure and an honor. Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Alex. Good to be back, mate. Yeah, I've had a little walk around. I thought I'd call you and do a chat, and you agreed to it. So, yeah.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for doing that. And as always, I think I shared it. I don't remember if privately with you or maybe on a show that, you know, whoever wants to chat, please reach out. I'm not going to be, I don't know, as I was a little bit before a few months ago that I was reaching out a lot, and I'm kind of allowing this. I love that when you suggested this, because that's what I'm looking for. When someone wants to speak up, please let me know, and it will be an honor and a pleasure. Tony, on today's show, we were discussing about wisdom versus knowledge. Okay. They sound like the same thing, and you know, and it's very common for people to say, "Hey, you are very wise," when they're talking about someone that, you know, has a lot of intelligence, whatever that means, or has acquired a lot of knowledge. You and I believe, see the same thing, that they're completely different things. They come from completely different places. And, you know, if we want to start with your opinion on how they are different, and we'll take it from there. Thanks.
Sure. Yeah, it's a great subject. Wisdom and knowledge, to me, in a nutshell, I would say is, to totally honest, it's the difference between night and day. To me, I go by wisdom, intuition, how I feel about something, how I feel about a place or a person, what vibe I get off something. Oh, should I go this way or that way? What do I feel about it? That's where I work with wisdom. That's my wisdom. Don't know about anyone else, but that's mine. And knowledge is more concrete evidence, concrete in the physical world. So you go by your senses, what you see, or not even necessarily your senses. Your senses is wisdom. I would say you go by abstract thought, abstract ideas from a book, from a map, maybe. It's always an abstract, which is a mental process. So, yeah, knowledge is a mental process where we piece together what we think is real. And intuition, wisdom, is more feeling what's real. And for me, it always works. It always works out. Yeah, mate, that's my idea.
That sounds about right. I will only add maybe a slight difference of opinion there, or maybe you're intending the same thing. That, for example, you know, I think you haven't seen it, but we're recording this episode is coming on Monday, but we're recording the previous Friday. It's the 20th of October. On today's show, it's about Air France flight 447 and aviation accident, unfortunately, and how the aircraft went into a stall. And when you are in that point that you don't have enough speed to be able to sustain flight, you have to point the nose of the plane down. You need to go down instead of up. But your intuition, I think that's more of an animal thing, or that fight or flight, that kind of wants to keep alive. When you're falling down, you want to go up, and by going up is you pull on the controls. And actually, they had to push on the controls, but that requires a lot of training, a lot of experience. And the captain was sleeping, and he in the stall, falling down like a rock, because it's very scary. I've never experienced it, but I knew a person in the military when I was a consultant that told me I experienced it once, because we got a very bad headwind going into the plane, and we're going really slow, so it's horrible. It's like a ride, you know, like you fall down like a rock.
Okay, your stomach goes.
Yes, so imagine that, and you have to fight your intuition to actually go even down, because that's how you recuperate the lift of the wings, and then you stabilize, and then you start going up again. But for example, if someone throws you a ball or something, if you don't see it, the ball hits you. But if you see it, you immediately protect yourself or something, or a rock or something like that. I believe those intuitions, I think you could be right, honestly, that this could be like wisdom, but I think it's more a protection mechanism of the flesh, because remember, the flesh wants to go on forever, and I think it knows it doesn't go on forever. and the brain wants to go on forever, and it knows it doesn't go forever, so it's always trying to protect itself, and that's kind of the middle ground. I really don't know, but I feel that's kind of, is that animal intuition or is that wisdom?
Sure.
Or maybe they're the same thing. You're right.
I was thinking in a way when you said that you can, it's like counterintuitively, instead of pulling, you push to go up, which is not necessarily.
No, you are falling down, and they have to push the nose down, so the wings are able to get the proper angle of attack, so they can create lift again. When you are in a stall, the wings don't generate any lift, so you fall like a rock. The airplane it's amazing. It's gonna be falling vertically, totally. It's not gonna go forward. It's gonna fall. But
the lever, you push the lever forward to go down.
The controls forward, that puts the nose down. I mean, you are going down, and you have to go down to be able for the wings to change angle and create lift again. And once they create lift again, the stall will stop. You will start going down, and then you slowly level up, and then you start actually giving thrust. When you are leveled up, you give thrust again, and then you can go and recuperate it. That's what you want. Obviously, it's an emergency situation, so in an airliner, they probably declare an emergency and look for the next closest airport. But you have to go against the intuition that you're falling down, you want to go up, and going up is pulling. It's pulling the level. It's actually changing the wings to the opposite. But as you're falling down, that's never going to create lift. And unfortunately, in this case, they fell down for 3 minutes until they crashed in the ocean.
Wow.
But it's a counter intuition, you see.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like the mind learns from the environment, and it's taught things. It's like when you pat your head. You pat your head and rub your stomach. Kids do it. And it's like coordination training. And if you can pat your head and rub your stomach, it's not easy. Or there's little things that people get trained in. But it's a process. It's like a technique. And it becomes, the mind learns it, and new pathways are created. So certain people can do certain things, but certain people can't do them because they haven't practiced them enough. It's like a judo or martial art. It's you have to do the technique over and over and over before it becomes second nature. And that's the training, which it's like the mind is halfway between, well, it's learning new things. And over time, if the spirit says that's good, maybe it absorbs it as part of our makeup. But the mind will, it's like a dummy run, a training run. The mind tests things out and see if it works. And then if the body can pick it up as a new skill, and it's positive and it works, then maybe we absorb that knowledge into our wisdom, and that knowledge becomes wisdom. That's what, you see what I mean?
Yes. Again, I think we're talking about the same thing. Basically, let me explain it. I was thinking as you were saying that, another example. But this, for example, with my dog. And you know my dog. I send you pictures of her, and I love her very much, and I treat her. I'm very, she trusts me completely. So if I, for example, once wanted to try to hit my dog, I will be able to do it because she trusts me so much. There's not a reflex there, almost like a reflex, like an intuition that, he wants to hit me, so I must protect or I must move. I will be able to completely hit her. But I can assure you, if I was violent to my dog, eventually, maybe at the second time, the third time, like fool me once, shame on me, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Okay, I know better now. And that reflex is there. So if I continuously hit my dog, I can assure you by the third, fourth time, she's gonna run away or try to protect herself. Same with a human. If you, for example, at school or something, there was someone hitting you or being violent to you, maybe the first time he will be able to completely hit you out of the blue, but you will develop that reflex almost. And I feel in the case of the airplane, it was a reflex. I want to go up. I'm falling down. I want to go up.
Yes.
And
good way of putting it.
Training, the captain was the only one that he was sleeping, and he came into the cockpit and shouted. You could hear it in the voice recorder because they record everything all the time. Nose down, nose down. We're in a stall, like saying you are doing the wrong thing. I know you want to go up, but you have to go down before you go up. And it's a counter reflex, counter intuition thing.
Yes.
Like you see a fire and you have to go to the fire to get away from the fire. That you want to run from the fire, you see. So
Yeah, yeah. You got to go through it.
you're probably right that these things
Yeah, I agree.
are part of the intuition. Tony, I just have to make a quick pause. There's someone here, and I'll be right back. Thanks. Sorry about that. We are back. And so, Tony, what do you think about that I was saying about, maybe this a reflex or something like that? Or as you're saying, possibly it's wisdom meshing there with knowledge.
Like you say, I think we are agreeing. I think we are. It's like when you're a baby, when you're born, you're a child, we're like a sponge. We absorb information at such a high rate that we're always learning. And if you ever study a baby and look at a baby learning, it will amaze you how quick it picks things up and how it notices everything that we take for granted. So it's almost like I see it as the brain itself is like, you're plasticine. Do you know what plasticine is? It's like a kind of clay, soft clay.
Plastilene or?
Plasticine.
Yes. Yeah, that you play with it when you're a child?
That's it. That's the one.
Uh-huh.
I see the brain as made of plasticine, soft plasticine. So when you're a child, you're absorbing so much stuff because it's flexible, it's versatile, it's picking up things, and it can learn so far languages, mechanics, coordination, musical instruments. But as it gets older, the brain solidifies. This is my theory anyway. And I reckon it solidifies into a sort of concrete or, almost denser. And as you get really old, it's like concrete. So you're unable to learn anything new. Like you say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, which I don't believe that. But I think, it's like a clay. And the younger you are, the more soft it is, the more easy you can learn. But there's people should be aware as they get older to keep learning new things, to keep yourself flexible. That's my idea. But I think we're saying the same thing. The brain learns something and then it takes it as gospel. Like, that's fixed forever. No. Life always changes. You need to keep up to date with life. Don't rely on your brain so much. It was right once. It might not be right now. You know what I mean? That's what I see.
Yes. And I was thinking as you were saying that I shared with you and a few shows that a few years ago, the situation in Mexico was violence-wise was very difficult.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're saying, the clay, the flexibility of the mind of in this case of through fear. Okay. Unfortunately, whenever you will, for example, a firework will go off, you will think it was, a gun going off, a machine gun going off or something like that. And you will always be checking when you were driving, checking your mirror to see if any cars were following you and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of acquired reflex, acquired knowledge in a way.
Yes.
Of these protective mechanisms, which I think we all have, that we don't want to die. Okay, let's be honest. The body, the body I think is it's probably the prime directive. Keep living, because as long as you keep living, I exist. Okay. I think wisdom, pure intuition, pure heart related, connected, divine wisdom, for example, is not afraid of dying. It's not afraid of dying because it doesn't exist. I'm gonna go on. I'm just gonna change. It's a change. Certainly it's a change. Certainly it's a big change. But we're gonna go on. And naturally I'm excited because it's the spirit is gonna say, because I'm going to a new experience. Okay. So some people ask me, how are you sure you have been going on forever and we go on forever? And and it's not this only life, because I feel it. It's my intuition. Okay. So I have to respect it. Once you let go yourself, and you have an excellent, beautiful example of that when you mentioned that thing of being out there in the ocean in a rock, remember? And you're hanging to the rock. Remember that you told me? Yeah. And then you're hanging to the rock, and you're not letting yourself go to your intuition, but then you let yourself go to whatever is going to happen, and then you're totally free. When you really listen to your wisdom, you're totally free. You're totally free because it comes from you. No one is guiding it. There's no agenda. There's no one can interfere with you because it's my intuition. My intuition tells me I'm going to go on forever, and everyone listening is going to go on forever. It's not exclusive to me. So I'm at peace. But I can assure you the moment I die from this experience, I'm going to be extremely fearful. That's going to be the body. That's going to be the knowledge. That's going to be the reflex. That's going to be that animal intuition, which I see different from the spiritual intuition. that is gonna say is the end for me. Is the Alex is gonna keep going, but this flesh is gonna become flesh.
Yes. I think the spirit knows. The spirit knows. Yeah. The mind, like you say, is you cling to something. The mind likes to cling to something. It needs certainty. It wants to be sure of things. It's fearful, so it wants to know: can I be safe? Can I be secure? I need certainty. But life isn't that way. Life isn't fixed. It's like always moving. It's always flowing, like a river. And the mind can't deal with that. Mind can't handle change. It's not great at change. It can't deal with it. So the spirit knows that we live forever, we're eternal, and it's watching on from the background. Just like, don't stress, don't worry, it'll be fine. Let go. Go with what you feel. Go with the flow. Enjoy life. But the mind's in the middle, saying, "No, wait, it's dangerous. Be careful. Oh, check it out. And it's the mind is like, yeah, primitive, fearful, protective mechanism, but it can be too fearful, and it can make us isolate ourselves from life. It can make us feel separate instead of connected. So it's a balance. The spirit is free. It's infinitely free. It goes where it feels like. Don't care. There's no fear. But the mind is the bit that's pulling the reins. Like, whoa, slow down. No, just take it easy. Careful. But there's a balance to be made. You know what I mean? I see it like a balance, mate.
Yes, I know, you're totally right. I agree with you. And sometimes I go too passionate of not submitting to the mind and that. No, let me clarify. Getting knowledge is perfect. And if you want to make a life, for example, become a doctor, I'm not talking only of medical doctors. I'm talking, doctor in philosophy or something like that. Someone that, a scholar in something, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, I know. And but what I want to say is, it's like driving a car and having the knowledge in the back seat, okay, and allowing your intuition, your wisdom, your spiritual wisdom to be at the wheel, okay. If you do that, I think you have the best of two worlds, okay. But if you allow your knowledge, you submit to your knowledge, if you abide to your knowledge and your knowledge says, wait, that's wrong. I don't care if it's the spiritual wisdom. I know better. That's not logic. No, because the spiritual wisdom doesn't have to explain itself. Doesn't have to do an equation and say, this is 2 + 2 = 4.
No.
The wisdom just says, it's 4. I don't care where it comes from. Okay, I know. And that's the beautiful part of connecting to your wisdom. Again, that doesn't make you special. I want to clarify. That's something we all have. You decide. If you are not listening to your wisdom, that's your decision. That's your free will. I'm talking about the people listening. But as I share with you privately and on shows, since I was young, I felt these things that I couldn't explain them. Like, for example, telling my parents, this reality is not this, okay? There's something wrong about all this. Why do I need to go to school? Why do I need to? Oh, because money, and then if you get money, you're going to be fine. And, my parents, beautiful. I have beautiful parents, but they were, trained, again, to this reflex of that's the way, that's the reality. And something inside me as a child, which you have minuscule knowledge, but you could have the full wisdom. That's why I say a child could be wiser than a 60-year-old research scientist from Oxford University or something like that. A child could be wiser if he's listening to its intuition. Just to pass it on to you, I want to share I don't have it with me. I could look for it and maybe share it in a few minutes. But I remember seeing in Twitter a few days ago an image from Nikola Tesla saying, when I didn't hear my intuition, something like that, I basically didn't know anything. The moment I started listening to my intuition, I knew everything. And I agree. It doesn't matter how smart you think you are, how many years you have. You're a doctor in nuclear engineering. If you don't put your intuition at the wheel, I think you're not as smart as you think. Tony, please take it from there.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, totally agree with that. It's like I was thinking earlier about the present situation, the world we live in at the moment in 2023, and then the future and the past, like history and the future and the present. It's like the present is always eternal. It's always now, whether you're in the present of 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, or in the present of a million years in the future. it's always the present. So the present encompasses all time. It encompasses all of the time. Every time it exists, it's always the present there, if you follow my drift. So the spirit is eternal. It's infinite. So that is the present moment is our eternal self. So we encompass everything, but we're so minuscule down into a single person, a single being. We forget that. And now and again, we realise, oh, I don't need to train. I know this. It's like a bird reading a book about flying. And his dad says to it, what are you doing reading the book? What's that book? It's about flying, Dad. I'm going to learn to fly. He said, put that book away. He's silly. Come here. And he pushes him off the edge of a bridge or a lamppost. And he starts flapping. And he's, Dad, I'm flying. Yeah, exactly. You know already. Don't read in books. Just do what you feel to do. And it's infinite, eternal spirit that's in each of us. That is the manual. It's not even a manual. We know it already. We don't need to be taught anything. You know, a skill is learned, which is useful. And it's great to learn the environment you live in and how to get by in it and how to make money or how to trade. But that's for the brain. But we should always prioritize the spirit over the brain first. Yeah. So it's definitely eternal spirit, which has all the knowledge and it has all the wisdom. And we've forgotten it. That's all. That's it, mate.
Yes. Yes, and I was thinking, we're going back to the example of my dog, that you're totally right when you said, like, a bird doesn't need to learn to fly. I think most of the nature is a special kind of intuition, okay? Yeah, in a way, wisdom, I think, because whatever nature does, is not the optimal thing, and that's why there are no 90-degree angles in nature. Nature just goes the way it wants. So. But at the end, it's always the right decision, okay? How animals live and that. Again, if I'm not saying I'm anti-human, but if that's why I say, when through the gift of consciousness, I think we have the possibility to move from that and be able to see the whole thing, like, there are animals, so there's a universe, so that's through this possibility of get out of the box. And we kind of abuse that gift that maybe was for other reasons, like to be the guardians of this planet and be able to live with nature, by nature, meshing with nature, not totally saying nature, here we go, it's all about humans, okay? So yes, mate, I think we're saying basically the same thing in a little different style, but I totally agree with you that it's fine to keep acquiring things, and when you are out there looking at videos, and for example, this chat for someone that is not you and me is a type of knowledge, okay? That's why I say you are not really gonna get something important here. The most important thing you could get is something ringing inside you. And that's your wisdom saying, hey, there's something there for you, okay? There's something there for you, but you are going to have to traverse that road. It's not going to be given, digested to you, so you just enjoy it. So I go back to the thing that I don't believe we wake up anyone. I think the waking up process is personal because we do it through our wisdom, not through our knowledge. And our wisdom cannot be acquired. Cannot be acquired. We already have it in us. It's something we have it, and we have had it forever.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like we have it already. Like you say, we need to uncover it. Like, take the layers off and realize we don't need to rely on the mind so much. The mind is good for technique, good for strategy, or a method, learning a method, or how to build something. That's great. The mind can learn that, but once it knows it, don't worry about detail. Just leave it to the spirit. Let the spirit take over, because we're not. I don't know. There's a balance. There's definitely a balance that needs to be struck with people, and they can't get what we're saying. Some people, but it points to what we're saying. What we're saying points to the spirit, and it's a pointing away from the mind. It's a pointing away from knowledge and method and books and trying to be certain of it. And I need to be definitely sure. You can't be definitely sure. Not in life. In a single subject, maybe, a science, maybe. But you can't plan life to go your way all the time. You don't have control of life. I think what we point to is go by spirit. That will guide you all the way home. That will take you home. Knowledge will take you one step, maybe two. But the spirit is where you need to be awake to the present moment and take that as a priority over all books, everything. Just let go of it, grasping. That's my key of it. Yeah. We grasp too much for certainty, and we need to let go and relax and enjoy life. I think that's the point of it, to enjoy life, not stress over it and stress out. It's a balance. Yeah. That's it, mate.
Yes, and as you say, we tend to attach to things we acquire. An example we have mentioned many times, the flat earth thing. I think it's 100% knowledge there. It's logic. We could not be wandering around this earth if it wasn't flat. How do we know?
Yeah.
We're not sure. Oh, it's the way, the optics of how the sun and then you put a camera. I always said, a really a little bit more convincing one was if you put a camera out there in New York, why can you get a picture of Ireland if there's a direct sight, okay? If it was flat, you can. I haven't seen a picture like that. And there are sufficiently powerful cameras to do that now, and they're not really that expensive. But no one has been able to produce that. But again, I'm going knowledge with knowledge. What I say is, I don't care to research it. I don't care to hear the evidence, the visual evidence. So I go through my intuition and says, there's nothing there for you. It's not really important. Maybe it's flat, maybe it's not. But what tells me, whatever it is, you are able to traverse it without any issues. Okay?
Yeah.
And it will make more sense to me that if we're part of a bigger thing, that the most efficient way is to be a sphere, okay? Like a drop of water, not something there, like the flatter model. So that's an example. I think religions is another one. Religions, I think, is 100% knowledge, okay? The Bible, and you have to go to mass, and you have to read when you're in catechism. You have to read about the story of that particular religion, and that all acquired knowledge. So then, when someone from a different religion, and right now, unfortunately, I just had an episode on senseless violence. We have the clash again of Israel and Palestine. They believe different things, okay? And they believe that they are entitled to that piece of land because of all this knowledge that has, historic books and that. And they cannot, instead of trying to embrace each other and saying we're different, let's try to both live here. And and again, as I say, the only way is for Palestine to have a state. Okay, there's no solution without that. Okay, I'm not saying they're the victims and Israel is the culprit. No, I don't pick a side. I just say, why do we allow? That's an example. World wars, many things that we allow our brain really to put an agenda and say, that's the enemy, that's the culprit, I'm the victim, all through the brain.
Yeah. I'm right, they're wrong.
Yes. And how convenient, right? I'm right, they're wrong. How convenient. Oh, there's only one truth, and I have. Because the ones that say that you and I have said many times that we are always open to being wrong, that there are multiple levels or multiple versions of the truth. And the ones that say there's only one. But I'm telling it. So that sounds very convenient.
Everybody knows the truth. Yeah.
Yes.
It's crazy. Yeah, that is exactly it, mate. That is exactly how it works. People are fixated on their mind, and they need to be sure. They spend years either in university or college or school, and then in a job, learning a skill, upgrading. And it's like they invested so much time and energy and money into this knowledge. They can't be wrong. Oh, no, I'm definitely right. You can't. Don't you tell me I'm wrong. I've trained for 10 years in university. I spent £20,000 on it. I've got diplomas and degrees, you name it, I've got it. I'm right. And if you try and tell them they're wrong, it's like they've got to disown all that energy and money and work and say, well, okay, I've got to start from scratch then, have I? Yeah, you were wrong. You were taught wrong. And it's hard for them to admit. It's hard to admit that they're wrong when they invest so much into it. So yeah. Well, open mind. Yeah.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, you'll go.
No, I was going to say, you're totally right. And I was thinking about a friend who's a doctor. Okay, and I'm not going to go, again, this is a topic that don't necessarily very well like where we are right now. But when he claims all the things you hear about medicine, you have to understand he started 18 years old, went into medical school. I believe he did 6 years, something like that, just the basic one. Then you have to be 1 year at the small town. That's the way they do it in Mexico. You have to be 1 year in your residence. And then you do specialty. That's a 7 year. You're like the doctor of the small town, but really a small town, 1,000 inhabitants or something like that. And then you come back to your city to do 3-4 years of specialization. So you end up being like 30 when you're done.
That's it.
So imagine saying, hey, I don't believe in this, in that. I'm not going to mention it, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't believe in something that, right now is being pushed a lot. So I don't have those discussions with my friend, because I know he will, the knowledge of those 12 years, plus his experience, plus they have to recertify themselves. And as you say, it's a lifelong investment. How could they ever say they're wrong? They can't. Okay. In my case, I was lucky because, my life, I'm an engineer and, I'm in IT. But still, if someone comes and says, no, but, IT viruses, it's BS and whatever, and hackers, they don't exist and something. I know better. I mean, instead of picking an argument and saying you're wrong, I'm going to say, you think whatever you want, okay? Because my experience is different, but, but some people get really belligerent when you try to question their lifelong investment in knowledge. You're totally right.
Yeah. It's a kind of possession. I kind of wear it like a badge of honor. My knowledge is my badge of honor. I'm an expert, or I've got X amount of years in this field, and it's sort of pride. They take pride in it, and pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, which are there for a reason. If you're too prideful about what you own or yourself, that's an attachment. That's a real attachment to something that maybe you should let go a little bit and check it's real, and question it more. But they're pushed through these systems, these universities and these medical schools so fast with such high promise, and their parents push them through, and you'll have a great life once you've passed your tests. And before they know it, they took on board so much information that a lot of it I don't think is true or relevant. Maybe some of it is. I'm not sure the percentage, but it's like they're forced into this meat grinder, and they come out the other side like a patty, a beef burger, and that's them. They've been molded. They're molded into this new doctor, scientist, whatever. And I've always been that as a kid, though, from young. Everything I heard from people, whatever the situation, no, that's not right. That's wrong. I'd say nothing. Nah, I would never go along with it. I'd never agree to something I didn't believe in. It was just one of them. It was my cross I had to bear. It wasn't easy being me, but I thank God I'm me. And, people like me and you are strong enough to stand on our own 2 feet and speak our truth, regardless of what anyone else says. Because we're the ones that pull them through at the end of the day. We're the ones that see the light and go, look, we're idiots, not idiots, but we know-it-alls. There's the light ahead of you, over there, not over there, because we didn't give in to the programming. We didn't go along with what we didn't feel was right. So I'm glad I'm who I am, I'm glad I see how I see and I make my own choices, think for myself and have an open mind. And that's the beauty of life, because then you're free, That's the spirit.
Yes. And I totally agree with you, and I'm the same way. And if there was a choice that say, hey, can we blank your mind, and you get to keep your intuition or your wisdom? Definitely. I mean, because what I used to traverse my life is my wisdom since I was a child. So, for example, morality is something in you. It's not something you acquire. You have to learn how to behave. Just go and ask. Just go and ask your heart if something is right or wrong. And I can assure you're going to get the right answer. Because then morality, some people that, for example, steal money, and for those people that are in politics, and they don't understand that the money they're stealing could be used to help others, to build a school, to build a hospital. So, the things that didn't get built because they stole the money, but then they justify this morality, this brain morality that doesn't come from the heart, saying, but you didn't kill anyone. But you're a good man, you're a good father, you're a good husband. Not so bad. Yeah, you stole a little bit, but you're entitled to it. No.
Yeah.
No, if you ask your heart, that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's no explanation. There's no justification. You see, that's the beautiful thing of wisdom. It just is. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to question it, you're not going to win the argument. And actually, your wisdom is going to say, you do whatever you want. Have you noticed that? If your wisdom says, Tony, you need to move from London to Ireland, and you say, wait, I don't want to do that. You start questioning, your wisdom is going to say, you do whatever you want. You have free will. You do whatever. You don't want to listen to me? No problem at all. But we're not going to go on a discussion. It doesn't work with wisdom. And knowledge is going to be giving you evidence, giving you validation, yes, because this and that. In Ireland, you're going to have better choices. And you see, that's knowledge. Okay, that's you want to do a rational decision. If you want to do a hard decision, as I shared, I think was last week. Some people get this wisdom, this intuition, move to the sea, move to a higher land. I know why. Maybe they have to do something there. Maybe that's what they need. But if they start questioning, how I'm going to do for work, how I'm going to do for money, then that's the problem. Your wisdom is going to say, then don't do it. Because it works in mysterious ways. Let me say it like that.
Yes. And it makes you more confident. When you've proven right once, say you get an intuition to move to the coast, and then you learn that you had asthma, or the ozone at the coast, the air's better, and your health improves. It's like, well, I better listen to my intuition more, and it gives you confidence in it. And I think that's where these people are. They're not confident in their intuition. They need to listen to it more, to let it prove itself to them. And then that's it. It's just faith and confidence is the two keys in life, I think. Faith in yourself and confidence follows. But yeah, it's always been my way of looking at life. I can't believe people just on the face value. I need to go with my feeling, or prove it to me. And I've always been centered, always been a loner. I've had loads of mates and sociable and all that, but I knew when to step out of it. And it's like your intuition gives you timing, knowing when to, gives you perspective as well. Like you could be busy, and you lose yourself in your work, and your intuition will go, right, time up, stop, go home now, have a break, have a rest. And if you don't listen to it, you get more lost. So your intuition covers everything. Everything is in your spirit. It's all there, mate. Yeah. I think
yes, and how a beautiful world it will be. And I'm not saying it because you and I are like that, please, because some things will be taken out of context. As I was taken for a few months ago by someone. Some things will be taken out of context of making us special. We're not. Everyone has that capacity. Okay, you have that capacity of going through this life, basing your life on your spiritual intuition, your wisdom, and going through the difficult choices of this life. How to make money, how to have resources. I understand those are challenges of this reality, but when you question, when you try to we live this life more spiritually and less physically, I think the world will change. The world will change. And for example, wars, division, things like, why are we hating each other? Why are we fighting each other? Why? Because of our beliefs, because of our knowledge from previous historic problems thousands of years ago. You put a person from Palestine, they're friends, Tony. I was in Israel in 2014, and people are friends. Most people are like, we are neighbors. Why? And a small percentage of the Palestinians are terrorists, okay, whatever. And a small percentage of Israelis believe in revenge, and yes, but it's, if we all start thinking with our intuition will never, ever doesn't believe in violence to start with. Doesn't believe in violence at all. He will never say fight back or revenge. All of those are things in your mind. Okay, are you going to allow that? Are you going to allow that this group of people did this to you? You have to fight back. That's your mind. That's your mind.
You've been implanted, mate, innit? But like you say, yeah, the spirit is always moral. It's always fair. What's right? What's the best option? It will always show you the best option available. And there's no way of looking at life from your intuition, from your spirit, and wanting to harm it. You always want to be in tune with it. You always want to engage and make it a better world, improve it. Whereas the mind, it isolates people and it makes us into a bit more selfish. It's getting cold here, mate. I said I'm shivering a bit. You might notice it.
No, it's fine, Tommy. Actually, we're probably in, you have final thoughts. We're probably around that time, 45, 50 minutes. So,
sure. Spirit is always present. It's always enjoying the present scenery. Like, whatever you're doing, you're 100% engaged with it. You're engaged in it 100%. There's no other agenda. It's just appreciating what is now. And it's freedom as well. It's freedom from the mind, freedom from, oh, but I've got to be somewhere. Oh, there's someone over there better. Oh, this is boring. I want something more interesting. No, that don't come into it, because that's rubbish. This is actually a beautiful, it's perfect. Present is always perfect. And we don't appreciate it when we're thinking. When we think, we don't appreciate what we do have now. And yeah, it's total freedom. That's it, mate. So I think we've done it. We've covered it. Wisdom, knowledge.
yes.
There's always more.
Yes,
But yeah.
and of course, I want to clarify, it's not that wisdom comes from top and is a favorite, and you shouldn't embrace knowledge and you shouldn't grab a book. I love reading. I mean,
Yeah.
now I don't have the time to do it as much. When I was younger, I remember reading, and I remember reading the same books over and over again too, because every time I read them, I didn't only enjoy it, but I also discovered new things that I hadn't discovered on the previous one. So this thing that you have to do things once, no, I watch movies over and over again, and I discovered new angles I didn't see in the previous time I saw it. So no, there's no favorite. Knowledge is perfect. It's like money in this reality. There's no problem with money. It's how you use money. It's if you submit to money. It's if you make money the king.
Yes.
That's the problem. But if you money, you understand how to use it, and you have access to a lot of money, you can actually do a lot of good to you, to your family, and to many people. Okay?
Yes.
It's not that give everything away and you suffer. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just put the things in the right value, and knowledge has the value, but it could never be what guides you, the one directing you. Okay? If you do that, I believe you have a problem. But you decide, you have free will, as I say. Wisdom is so kind to you. I'm just going to say, you don't want to listen to me? I'm not going to talk. You do what you like. You have free will, and I'll be here silent. Whenever you want to access me, I'll be here waiting. You also have a problem with that. So the mind is more concentrated on the agenda of saying, no, don't listen to that. I know better, and I'm going to explain you why. No, the wisdom doesn't require explanation.
No.
Doesn't require explanation.
Exactly.
Tony, thank you very much for this. I really enjoy it. It was a pleasure and honor having you back again. And yes, for the ones viewing that, I don't know what, a month and a half maybe since we had our last chat.
Yeah, probably about a month. It's been great,
Yes. Yes, we all need a break from time to time, and with the channel change from the platforms and many things. And right now, as I announced, I'm going to go back to 2 episodes per week. So this is Monday's episode. I will be back on Friday with another episode. Thank you, Tony. Really enjoyed this one. I think it's also perfect. It's going to be like 50 minutes. And thank you, Tony.
Brilliant. Thank you, mate.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. As always, I suggest that you please stay for the last 2.5 minutes of the show. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall, and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time, through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how old emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from touching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance for all. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@humanitywins.net. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.humanitywins.net. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.